On Fox News The 5, they were talking about Kamala Harris and trying to label her a communist and a flip-flopper, both of which are hilariously bad takes that just showcase even further how the right is struggling to attack her in any meaningful way that resonates with just normal people who aren't terminally online. And Jessica Tarlov, the shining liberal of the group, did an amazing job shutting down their propaganda, so I've lined up a few clips of just that for us to analyze.
So this is pretty standard fare that someone who has run before had policies that they don't necessarily implement while they're in office. And the closest proxy for what Kamala Harris would be is who Kamala Harris was as VP and part of the Biden-Harris ticket. And I understand that that is a problem for some people, but you cannot run from that. You can run from a position you took in 2019. And we've discussed this before. You know, I think that she could do very well to roll the clips, right? Show me what I said and I'll explain to you about how different it is once you're actually governing, and that you can't get things like that passed. Something like a Medicare for all, for instance. A lot of people wish that we could have great public health care and that you didn't need private health insurance, but they wouldn't go and say you should eliminate private health insurance, and that's how President Biden...
Only a communist would say that.
That's not true. All over Europe, they're not communists.
We'll be right back.
Yeah, I mean, again, most developed nations guarantee healthcare, and most of them are not the slight bit communist, like Canada, for instance. These people wouldn't know what communism was if they were looking at the definition. To them, it's just literally anything that they don't like. One of the most annoying parts of living in America is with this specifically, but there's a wide ranging issues and topics that this applies to, but people who have never studied communism or socialism, never read extensively about it, or never experienced it, talking as if they have a qualified opinion that should actually be taken serious when they're describing what it is and what it would do. It would be like me explaining neurosurgery to you, or to a neurosurgeon, right? But the ego of stupid people is always something that, should be studied for real. Dunning-Kruger is a real thing, but Jessica is exactly right here. There's a difference between personal positions and the reality of what you feel you can politically achieve. And we saw Kamala in a position of governance as vice president. We saw the kinds of things she supported. And so it's clear the kind of things we can expect from her. Donald Trump at one point was a Democrat. His positions have obviously changed. No MAGA calls him a flip-flopper. It's not something Fox News would ever even mention. So clearly, that gives the game away that this is just another weak attempt to try and go at Kamala Harris with a standard that they wouldn't even hold their own to.
When you are competing against Trump, who has a long record of doing... I'm for a national abortion ban. I'm not...
Talk about her.
Well, but I'm talking about the race that she's participating in, and she's running against someone who wants to ban TikTok, then doesn't want to. I'm for a national abortion ban. Now I'm not. I'm for visas for highly skilled migrants. Now I'm not. Those are the standards by which she's going to be judged, which I think will be a help for her if she is coming back from taking positions that are not that popular.
And on top of that, he goes at people like RFK Jr., has multiple attacks on his character and his politics, then happily accepts his endorsement and says he'll give him a position in his administration and acts like he's God's gift. And MAGA just falls in line with that. Same with Tulsi Gabbard. Don't even get me started on the Republicans in the primary and what he had to say about them. He'll just flip-flop his opinion on a person the second they decide to support him, let alone policy positions. And this is something that MAGA will just wake up the next day and go with because they're a cult. They are a cult. Everything they do is groupthink. It just comes from what Trump says that day they believe. They're anti-establishment because of Trump. But if Trump said we need to support the establishment, they would instantly be the establishment. If Trump woke up the next day and decided he's not a Republican, he's going to run as the Green Party and do socialism, they would all be Green Party socialists. Trump is an unserious candidate. MAGA are unserious people. So it's going to be hard for the right to hold Kamala to any bit of a serious standard when, again, they're voting for a convicted felon, a rapist, a fraudster, someone who tried to steal an election and has swapped on every single position he has ever held politically, and will give people positions in his administration of whom he dragged across the mud for months just because they decide to say, hey, we will support you. I'm just saying. If you enjoyed this video, we're Social Society. We're a commentary channel influenced by politics, society, and the economy. We are pretty left-leaning on this channel, but we're open to our right-wingers as well. The biggest thing here is having conversations that get everyone to the bottom of the truth. If that sounds like something that could interest you, consider smashing that subscribe button, leaving us a like, or even commenting on this video. We even have memberships available as low as $3 if you'd like to support, because the only way we become a society is together.